So the second reason that I was spiraling last week and considering throwing in the towel with homeschooling is because I gave my son a little reading fluency test. So my oldest son, he's only 5, but he's going into second grade in the fall because he's advanced and he's going to have a birthday between then and now. So he's more than a year advanced, and so you might think, oh, well, homeschooling must be going great, and I mean, it's not going bad, but when I gave him this reading fluency test, he wasn't reading fluently the way that somebody wrapping up first grade would be reading, and that really made me question if all of the things that I've been through in order to do homeschooling these past 3 years have just been a mirage. Have the sacrifices been all for naught? And have I made this big mistake? Have I wasted my time and their time where they could have just been playing and joining public school in a couple of years? Did I do all this work for nothing? And I know that sounds maybe like an overreaction, and it probably was, but I just had to realize that he is 5 years old, and he is going to be advanced in some areas and need more time with others, because public school and homeschooling, it's not one-to-one. And even if my child was in public school, if they had one-on-one attention and they were like deeply being attended to and understood, we would see that some kids in public school should be advancing onto the next grade in some areas, and in other areas they need more time. And so trying to mimic public school exactly, it's just not correct, because my kids are going to end up advancing in some areas just like many other kids would if they had the opportunity to do so, right? And so when his reading fluency is that of somebody who is 5 or 6, it's like, well, he's reading for at a level that is age appropriate and actually still advanced. It's just not as advanced as you would expect an 8-year-old second grader to be. Okay, so we're getting through the curriculum, but that doesn't mean that in every way he has to be age equivalent. Like this also came up recently when I was looking at co-ops for next year and just shopping around, making sure that we're happy with our current one, to see what else is out there. And they were suggesting putting him in the second grade class for co-op next year. And I thought, academically that might make sense, but he is 5 maturity-wise. So it just doesn't make sense. And so that's another thing that kind of got me frazzled, thinking, oh no, he won't fit in with the second graders. And it's silly that would get me frazzled, because he shouldn't fit in with the second graders. I mean, I shouldn't expect that because he is 5. And so the point of all of this is just to say that if your child is either ahead or behind in some areas, it's not a reflection of things not going well with homeschooling, because if they were in public school, the areas that they would be behind in, they're often not addressed and they just get moved on to the next grade. It's natural for kids to develop faster in some areas and slower in other areas, and not everything is just a straight leveling up in all areas at the exact same pace. And so with homeschooling, I think, I'm 3 years into this. We did preschool, kindergarten, now we're finishing up first grade, and we did like a couple of years of preschool. So I'm a little more than 3 years into it, and I think it's totally natural at this point that we will start to see a growing divide where the kids are getting really a lot more advanced in some areas. Like Gabriel's finishing up kindergarten math and he's only 4.5. He's going to be doing first grade math while he's still 4 years old. And that's fine. But you know what? He doesn't write his name very well, and that's okay because he's only 4. So, and same thing with Daniel, actually. He doesn't write his name very well either, even though he's 5. And in some areas of curriculum, we're going into 2nd grade next year. So it's just, I just wanted to share that because I think that this is a kind of something that would freak a lot of people out, where you're moving ahead in curriculum, but there are some areas where they're still just on point for their age. And it's fine. It's just something that's going to happen. And I think that gap, like I said, is just going to keep on growing and growing between, you know, those certain points that they happen to be gifted at and those other points where they're just on par. And at some, you know, that's, and often homeschoolers, I've done a little bit of research on this, and this is normal. So if you're wrapping up a curriculum like I am, wrapping up 1st grade, and your kid's not like really fluent, even though they know all the rules, there's just, he hasn't lived long enough to have the practice required to become fluent. So yeah, hopefully that helps somebody out there, and you know, don't give up, and don't get discouraged. I hope this video encouraged you. Thanks.